It's Monday, March 5th. I'm your host, Sarah Beal. On today's show, we'll talk with Superintendent of Schools, Meg Mayo-Brown. We talk about school safety. Then we'll meet the new Director of Assessing, Ed O'Neill. And finally, Tammy Jacobson, the Director of Workforce Development and Training at Cape Cod Community College, will join us. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. The FY 2019 capital budget and FY 2019 to FY 2023 capital improvement plan was submitted to the Town Council on Monday, February 26th. The proposed budget for FY 2019 includes 35 projects totaling $18.4 million. Funding for the plan includes $6.1 million in cash reserves, $10.6 million in new borrowing authorizations, and $1.3 million in anticipated grant funding, and $443,000 from balances remaining in completed projects. The plan is available on the town's website. Public hearings will begin on April 5th. The Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District, with generous financial support from the Hyannis Rotary Club, is proposing to design and create 7 new navigational kiosks in the area of Main Street, Hyannis. The bid invites the public to attend a community workshop on Tuesday, March 6th at 5 p.m. to provide input regarding historic and symbolic themes as well as color. Staff from the Main Street Bid, Town of Barnstable Planning and Development Department, members from the Hyannis Rotary Club, and project designer Mariana Agresti will be on hand to facilitate the workshop. The workshop will be held at the Regional Transit Authority Community Room located in the bus station at the corner of Main and Center Street. The search has begun for a new chief of police. The position is part of civil service, and the town manager has made the determination to proceed with an internal search. MMA Consulting was hired to ensure the civil service components of the search are followed and will ultimately provide 3 names as finalists for the position. The Barnstable Police Department is an integral part of our community, therefore the town would like to hear the community's thoughts on issues facing the town and qualities and characteristics of the person selected to lead our police department. Town Manager Mark Ells will be providing some opportunities for community input via meetings in the near future. In the meantime, you can visit the town website at townofbarnstable.us to complete a survey and have your voice be heard. Deadline for survey responses is this Friday, March 9th. The Barnstable Youth Commission will again be hosting their Community Prevention Forum and 7th Grade Youth Summit. The Community Prevention Forum will be held on Thursday, March 15th at Cape Cod Community College in the Tilden Art Center. The public is welcome to attend for a presentation and open discussion with a panel of Barnstable police officers to discuss, demonstrate, and share views on how we can work together to keep our community safe. The 7th Grade Youth Summit will take place the next day, also at Cape Cod Community College, with Dynamic Influence and Kevin Rosario presenting, along with BHS peer leadership. There will also be presentations by many clubs, sports, and activities that will be available to the 7th graders entering the high school in the fall. Now let's get our weekly BHS update from Channel 18 intern Mackenzie Connor.
Hello, I'm Mackenzie Connor, intern for Channel 18. There's a lot going on at Barnstable High School this week. March Madness is coming up. See your class officer or advisors for details about signing up. On Tuesday, March 6th, there's the staff basketball tournament. On Wednesday, March 7th, there's the spike ball tournament. On Thursday, March 8th, the Dean Boger volleyball game. On Monday, March 12th, the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. On Tuesday, March 13th, the cornhole tournament. On Wednesday, March 14th, there's trivia at 6 o'clock at night. And last but not least, Thursday, March 15th, the famous dodgeball tournament will be held. If you're still looking for a prom dress, come to the Junior-Senior CAF on March 29th from 2 to 4:30. There will be a collection of over 300 gently used prom and cocktail dresses for students to take for free. Yoga class for teachers and staff will start next Monday, March 5th, from 2:15 to 3:15. The class will meet in room 2726. See instructor Michelle Netto for more information. Spring Sports Informative Night will be held on Tuesday, March 6th at 6 p.m. in the BHS main CAF. Online registration opened on March 1st, so make sure you sign up. For seniors, Scholarship Bulletin number 11 is available in school counseling and house offices. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Mackenzie Connor.
Coming up now, Superintendent of Schools, Meg Mayo-Brown. Meg, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a little while since we've had you in the studio, so thanks for coming down. We want to talk about something that's pretty serious today, school safety. I know there was a shooting a little over 2 weeks ago in Florida, and I know that's been on a lot of people's minds. So we want to take this time to kind of reassure parents and the residents in the town of Barnstable that it's something that the Barnstable School Department takes very seriously.
Yeah. So thank you for having me on this morning. We certainly were all heartbroken to hear of the tragic loss in Parkland, Florida. And I think it serves as an opportunity to just remind everyone that safety is always on our minds. It's a top of mind priority. It's something that we continually look at and address and ensure that we're aligning with best practices. We can, I think we can always do more, and so we always should be doing more and taking a look at our practices. After Sandy Hook, then Governor Deval Patrick convened a task force, and that task force sent out recommendations to all schools. So we really followed that report. For me, it's a blueprint around best practice. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of things out of the report for parents and for our community, just to demonstrate some of the, we don't want to get into too much detail about our safety protocols, because in essence you're releasing that information to the public. Some of that we need to keep internal. But in terms, I love this report because it really breaks things into 4 categories: prevent, prepare, respond, and recover. And one of my favorite quotes in the report is, careful planning is the best way to ensure schools are safe places to learn. And so that's really what we're doing. We have an emergency task force that's chaired by Dave Kanyak, who's our director of facilities, and Pam Sobrowski, who's the head of nursing for us. And that's a multi-agency team where we sit with police and fire and DPW on a monthly basis to review our protocols and to establish new protocols. We have a line item in our capital budget for this year to upgrade our video surveillance systems, make improvements on our entry systems. We certainly have a great SRO at the high school with Reed Hall, and we have a number of officers who stop in our other schools, so there's that great connection with the Barnstable Police Department. We focus on social emotional learning because school safety is really 2 pieces. One, you certainly want to be prepared, but you also want to be sure that you're addressing the social emotional learning needs of students and working on self-management and self-awareness and building that skill set in students so that we have a positive learning environment. And then, of course, we have emergency training for staff. We do our drills, and that's really where we learn what improvements can we make as well. So it's a comprehensive effort, and I just want to assure parents that they trust us with their children every day, and we take that role very seriously and always want to ensure that our schools are safe and positive places to learn.
I think that parents are, happy to hear that, and it's comforting to know that it's taken very seriously, as it should, and that you follow the standards that was brought forth when Sandy Hook happened. I know one of the major changes after Sandy Hook was the schools are now locked. You can't just walk in whenever you want. You have to get buzzed in by someone. You have to say who you are, why you're there, and I think it's very important. And I think that was a really smart. I can understand some people complain about it. I'm sure.
Yeah, they do.
But it's always about, you want your students to be safe. You want them to feel comfortable in the environment that they're in, and I think that you do a very good job of accomplishing that.
So thank you, and I tell our staff our protocols are only as effective as we are in implementing those protocols and having fidelity to them. And it may be it may be an inconvenience sometimes to have to stand at the door and hit the buzzer and have the school administrative assistant say, "May I help you?" Even though you may have a relationship with the school, but we just want to, double check that we're following protocols for anyone that comes to the front door, for example, and really ensuring that all of our doors are always locked during the school day. So, it's a reminder to principals and staff that, let's just make sure that we're following our own protocols, because we are our first line of defense in terms of keeping schools safe.
That's good to know. I talked with the Chief of Police, Paul McDonald, earlier this week, and I kind of mentioned to him, if people, have noticed something or they're unsure about something, he always says it's better to, to give us a call and talk to us about it. You have that same policy at Barnstable Public Schools.
We do, and we tell our students, if you see something, say something, and go tell an adult. Particularly, the elementary kids are great about doing that. It gets a little more challenging as kids get older, but we want a culture of, if you see something, that you think is not right, or you hear something that's concerning, go tell an adult and we'll follow up on it. Yeah.
It's always better to be safe than sorry, I always say. So it's important that the students feel comfortable knowing that they can, they can come with any issue that they might have, or, maybe somebody says something that makes them uncomfortable. You don't want things to get too far.
Right. And there are some school systems that have an anonymous tip line, and we're going to look into that too, that you could, either call or use social media to report something in case individuals may not be comfortable coming forward. Again, we want to make sure that our avenues of communication are open so that we're always getting information. So we'll be taking a look at that as well.
Is there anything going forward that you want to let our viewers know about before I let you go?
No, I don't think so. Just, I know a lot of school districts are sending out letters to parents. I'll probably do that next week, just again to reassure our community that we do have safety protocols in place. We continue to look at those, and just really we are grateful that parents trust their children with us, and we take that job very seriously.
That's great.
Yeah.
Meg, I know this is a very difficult and tough issue, but thank you so much for coming in and talking with us about it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
My guest today is Meg Brown. She's the superintendent of schools here in the town of Barnstable. Coming up, Tammy Jacobson of Cape Cod Community College, but first, the new director of assessing, Ed O'Neill. Ed, thank you so much for joining us today. You are the new director of assessing here in the town of Barnstable. You started back in October, so it's taken us a couple months to get you in on the show, but you're here today. So I wanted to start with, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what made you want to come to Barnstable?
Yes, Sarah. Thank you for having me today. When the Barnstable position opened up, which doesn't happen often, I had my eye on it. I was working for the city of Medford for about 14 and a half years, and my wife and I at some point will be in transition to the Cape. So I sent a packet in to Mark and to Bill, and applied for the position last summer, went through the process, was offered the position, and I've been here since October. And it's been, between the community and the administration, it's been a very positive ending for myself at this point.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you, Sarah.
And I know the assessing division is glad to have you as well. It's a great group of people that you work with up there.
Yes.
So I know that it's nice to have someone, that everyone can get along with. So welcome aboard, and thank you for coming in and chatting with us today. Let's start with, because some people might not understand exactly what assessing does. I mean, and prior to our talking today, I just was under the impression it was, home value and maybe building value. But the assessing division does a lot more than just that. So can you tell us a little bit about what exactly assessing does?
Sure, certainly. So basically, we are responsible by statute for full valuation of all real estate, business personal property. We administer motor vehicle excise tax, boat excise tax, statutory exemptions, and we provide a lot of information for the town for properties. So each year we do an annual appraisal, and every 5 years now we do an appraisal, which is the DOR comes in and certifies the values. They do a comprehensive audit or review, if you will. So basically we try to arrive at fair market value based on what's happening between willing buyers and willing sellers in the market. And we finalize the valuation, the tax roll, if you will, and then we take the budget information and try to arrive at the tax policy structure. So historically, the town has adopted a residential exemption for the people who live in their properties, that own them, that live in them, and we have other exemptions that we can talk about, which are coming up. Statutory deadline of April 2nd. So those are at this point in time, that's pretty much what we're looking at. There are ways for folks to contest the values, if you will, to see if the value is indicative of the current market, for one thing. And then as far as tax relief, we have all those exemptions that I just referred to.
Now, coming up on April 2nd is when the residential and statutory exemptions will be due.
Correct.
What are some of the statutory exemptions? I mean, we know about the residential exemption.
Yes.
But what are some of the other exemptions?
So we have a senior exemption for folks that are over 65 and 70. We have a veterans exemption. They have to be service-related, minimum of 10% disabled. We have a blind exemption. We have a hardship exemption, and we also have a tax deferral. So folks can stay in their home and defer their taxes, and it gets a lien gets recorded at the registry. And at some point in time when the property is sold, the town will get their tax dollars back. So there are ways, and there's also another fund. I think the city, the town actually sets aside money in tax bills, a voluntary program, and I think there's a committee been appointed for that, and they can seek some relief from them as well.
So there are, ways for people to get some relief from some of the taxes they may have to pay on their home. And if anybody has questions on these things, would you say the best way to get answers would be to call the office directly?
Yes, yes. We call us directly, or if people can go online. There's a lot of information online. There's links up there. There's forums up there. But please, if there are any concerns, excuse me, even helping them fill out the application. We can't actually do it, but we can assist them with that. I've also, since I've been here, I reached out to the Council on Aging, and they do some outreach down there, and I told them we would be willing to help with that, if possible, if that's a better setting for the seniors. But we do quite the outreach, and we also, with the residential exemption, I guess we haven't done it in the past, but we did a little outreach in the fall, and it's on the website again if they want information on it in the form as well. But again, that's due April 2nd on the Monday.
Yeah, I will say that your area on the town's website, when you go into the town website and you go into departments and go to assessing, is a lot of information. So if there's anything you have questions on, you can find the information there. And I will say the town of Barnstable's property lookup for the town is one of the best that I have seen.
It is.
It's so easy to use. It's very user-friendly. You can look it up by address. You can look it up by name. You can look it up by parcel number if you happen to know what that is. So if anybody has any questions about their property or a property that they're interested in, it's a great tool. It's a great resource to go online. I highly recommend people go on and go to the property lookup, because you can find a lot of information there. And like I said, it's one of the most user-friendly property assessing, portals that I've ever seen.
Plus the maps, Sarah, too.
Yeah.
You can link into the maps, which is GIS. Under the leadership of Jim Benoit, does a great job with that and maintains that. Not to say that on any of the data we put up there that there aren't errors, but we do checks, quality checks on that. We try to minimize that. But if there are any issues with property data or the mapping, just please let us know. We'll correct that.
Wonderful. Well, Ed, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the town of Barnstable. We're
Thank
so
you,
glad
Sarah.
to have you here. And I look
I'm
forward
glad
to
to be
chatting
here.
with you again, maybe in a couple months.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. My
Thanks very
guest
much.
today is Ed O'Neill. He's the Director of Assessing here in the town of Barnstable. Tammy, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to talk about a little bit of something different that kind of happens at Cape Cod Community College. You are part of the Center of Corporate and Professional Education component of 4C. So can you explain a little bit what that is and what you guys do?
Sure. So we're the non-credit division, professional development type division. We offer non-credit courses for developing your skills, also offering courses for continuing education credits for nurses, social workers, even for the construction industry. So we offer a wide variety of courses that are staggered start through our semester schedule to accommodate employers that want to send their employees through training.
That's wonderful. Is there any requirements that people need to have in order to participate in these courses, or is it just
No, most of them are all open enrollment. They can come in and enroll for the course. Some certifications may require some prerequisites, but very minimal. Most of the time there isn't any prerequisite required.
Wonderful. So there's a couple of seminars and workshops that are coming up that we want to focus on today. There's going to be a free business training grant seminar, and that's, we're going to start with the Google workshop. There's a free Google workshop coming up on March 13th. Now, this sounds really cool, especially if you're a smaller business here on Cape Cod. This might be a really great opportunity to learn about how to integrate your business onto the web?
Absolutely. So Google, we're partnering with Google. We have a Google expert trainer coming down on March 13th, and they're talking about how to get people online and utilize some of those free tools that Google has. So we have that starting at 10 a.m. on March 13th, and then we also added an additional workshop with the topic of sharing your story through video. Video has been a popular topic, and it's a way to get your story across and to engage audiences to like and share and really promote your information.
That's wonderful. What kind of businesses or companies on the Cape would kind of fit into this kind of seminar?
I would say your smaller businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs would be very interested in attending. They provide a wide variety of information and free tools in order to help you get found better on the web. So a lot of those storefront businesses would benefit from this a great deal. The smaller mom and pop storefronts would be a great audience for this workshop.
Wonderful. And I know Google is they do so much. And I know it can be very confusing when you go in and you try to use some of their marketing tools that they have and things like that. So this would be a great seminar to take if you're interested in learning more about this and how to increase your online presence. So hopefully people, and how do people sign up for this?
So they would actually go on our website, which is www.capecod.edu/CCPE, and right on our homepage there's a link to sign up for it. We're very excited. We have Google's offering a lot of swag, so we have swag bags and little takeaways, and then we also have, as of yesterday, we had 67 people signed up.
Wow.
So this is going to be at our main campus in our Tilden Arts Center.
That's amazing. What is the capacity? Is it,
We're probably capping around 100.
100, so yeah.
120.
If you're interested in taking this, it's happening on March 13th at, Cape Cod Community College. So sign up ahead of time and get in and learn some of these great tools that you can use to help your business. Another workshop or seminar, is the Free Business Training Grant Seminar, and that's taking place on April 11th.
Yes. So this seminar is actually sponsored by the Workforce Training Fund and Commonwealth Corporation, and we're partnering with them throughout the region. We held one in Wareham recently, and now we're holding one in Orleans on April 11th. And it's for employers that pay into the Workforce Training Fund, but if you're not sure, you can still attend. It's a free seminar. We talk about the different types of grants that are out there for employee training. So they have a general grant, which provides up to $250,000 worth of training for an employer. And we also have an express grant, which is for the smaller employer, that provides a 50% reimbursement. And then the college was actually awarded last year, actually about a year and a half ago, which ends this June 30th, a direct access grant, which is part of the same program. And what we do is we're offering professional skills training, so time management, team building, and communication training for employers, and they, at no cost, if they're eligible and if they pay into the Workforce Training Fund, they're eligible to attend training at no cost. They just have to pay their employees while they're in training.
Wow.
So this seminar will go over all three of those grants and all the opportunities that are available for employers. One thing we like to stress to employers is the application process for all of these is a little bit different. I would say the one that involves the most time is the general program grant, which is the one up to $250,000. But as part of the mission with the college, we actually come into the employer on site and help them write the grant and help them prepare that application. It's an online process. It's actually it's been streamlined a great deal, so it's very user-friendly and easy to maneuver around it.
Wow, that's amazing. And what a wonderful tool for businesses here on the Cape to take part in this and get that help, because I think it's so important. There's so many businesses here on Cape Cod. There's so many people who are that's how they're making their living is with their owning their own business. So to have these kind of resources, I think is a wonderful thing. So that's so great. So that's another one. You want to go to capecod.edu/CCPE.
Yes.
And you can sign up for that ahead of time.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
And the last thing we want to talk about real quick is the Summer of Science.
So we're kicking off our Summer of Science program. So I wear a different hat during the summer. We have middle school age children entering grades 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th this year, coming in for 4 different programs. We're very excited. We have a new program on board, a construction exploration program.
Oh, cool.
And we've been working with the Home Builders and Remodelers Association of Cape Cod, and they have provided us with some scholarship. Some of their members are offering some scholarships for it as well for students, so we're really excited about that. They're actually going to be coming in. We're going to have speakers each day. The the students are going to be making something. We're not sure what that's going to be yet, but they're going to be building something with tool belts and learning all about graphs and all the, incorporating some STEM into that and making it fun for them as well.
Oh, that's really cool.
And then the other new program we have on board is an advanced EMT program. So we're actually going to be working with the local fire station here in Hyannis, which is being built right now.
Wonderful.
And having students do some work over there and explore some opportunities and learn all about what it is for emergency response in all the different fields.
That's wonderful.
So we're very excited about that. And then we have our general maker movement, we have a graphic design program, and then we have our beginner EMT as well.
Very cool. Where can people find information about the Summer of Science?
Summer of Science is also on our website at www.capecod.edu/Summer of Science. All the applications are listed up there. They can download that and send that on in to us. And if they have any questions, they're more than welcome to give us a call. All the phone numbers are up there as well.
Wonderful. Tammy, this is so great. Thank you so much for talking to us about all of this just wonderful stuff. I mean, I love talking to people from Fourth Season, learning about all the great things that you guys do, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. My guest today is Tammy Jacobson. She's the Director of Workforce Development Training for Cape Cod Community College. Now let's take a look at this week's community calendar. Funded by a generous grant from the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod, Sturgis Library will be hosting an Intro to Fiction writing class every Wednesday night from March 7th through May 9th, 6 to 7 p.m. Classes will cover character creation, plotting, genre, language, grounding readers, regionalism, setting, editing, and publication. Corey Fahrenkopf, author and adult services librarian, will instruct the class. In addition to workshops, visiting authors will give readings from their work. The first of these will be Paul Tremblay, winner of the British Fantasy Award, on April 4th, starting at 7 p.m. Pre-registration is required. Call 508-362-6636, or you can send an email to sturgisreference@comcast.net to sign up. Now let's take a look at this week's board, committee, and commission schedule. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back on Tuesday with an all-new episode of Barnstable Today. On Tuesday's show, we'll talk with Donna Burns, the Assistant Director of Senior Services, and Dan Santos, DPW Director. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Beal.